Hello and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn coming to you from the Beer Temple, and it's been a little while since I gave shout outs, so I think I should start right there because it's something that I like to do. So these are people who have left 4-star reviews on the iTunes store. I know some people watch on Facebook and Vimeo and stuff like that and leave comments, and the site obviously is a great place to leave comments as well, but I just like to give shout outs to these people. Nachos42, Jeremy H70, Ronald D. Gregorio, and SMC Masters. Thank you guys so much for the reviews, and thanks everyone for watching. That's also really important, and just really appreciate it. Hopefully I think you guys will like this show that I have today. It's definitely one of the more rare beers I've ever had on the show before. This is the Bell's Blacknote Stout. This is pretty much, I don't know, the most hyped beer to be released in recent times, last couple months, 6 months, so on, at least in the Midwest. And I figured why not grab a bottle and share it with so many people more than would possibly ever be able to taste it. That's just one of the things with some of these rare beer releases. They come and go so quick. I think I got 24 bottles for my store, and I had to fight and pull and kick and scream just to get that. A lot of people didn't get any. So if you got some, consider yourself lucky, but let's see if it's worth it, So what is this beer, and how did it come to be so hyped? I think that might be worth a little bit of talk. So the beer is, Bell's has a Russian Imperial Stout called Expedition Stout. I love Expedition Stout. It's a great stout. They also have a cream stout called Double Cream Stout. Also a good beer. So what they did is they basically blended those two beers and then threw them in a bourbon barrel, and there you have Blacknote, which sounds pretty delicious. I'm curious if it's going to be better than just a barrel-aged Expedition Stout. And really, I've had this a couple times already at festivals, and that's kind of where this beer began. It began as a festival beer, and a lot of times at some of these higher end, for lack of a better term, beer festivals, for the geeks and stuff like that, they want to see rare stuff. So Bell's kind of blended this stuff, threw it in a bourbon barrel, and people really went wild for it. And then it almost became like the diagram for future breweries on how to hype up your beer. And I'm not saying Bell's did this intentionally. It could have just been a happy coincidence, and it helps to have a good beer, I guess. So what happened was, this beer was getting a lot of buzz and at the festivals, and so people would wait for it, and it got rated extremely high on the beer rating websites. It was one of the top beers in the world for a while. If it still isn't, I don't know. And then the following year, a couple of years later, there was an unannounced or semi-announced release in 750 milliliter bottles of Blacknote, I believe at the brew pub only. And it kind of took people by surprise, and people freaked out and traveled up to Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is where Bell's is from, and picked up these bottles. And it remained to be super, super hype, super, super popular, and rated very highly. And this is the first year that it really had a true distribution in 4-packs. Most people, myself included, broke them out and sold the bottles individually, just because I didn't think it was fair to only sell this beer to 6 people when I could sell it to 24 or 23 in this case, and then share it with everybody else. And in fact, I am going to be leaving this beer open and sharing it for people to come in just for free, just because I think some of these rare beers are worth trying, even if you couldn't buy it. So anyway, this beer kind of rode the hype train, and I want to see if it's worth it. If it's worth kind of following beer trucks and running all over the city to try to get one of these beers. If not, and that's if you're in the Midwest. If not, you might have to kind of do some trading for it. So bourbon barrel Russian Imperial Stout, very popular style. I can already smell some of the bourbon here. Let me dip in. A lot of oak, definitely a lot of oak and dark chocolate. I'm getting some coconut as well, like a kind of like a toasted coconut like a rummy coconut, boozy coconut. Integrated very well with the wood. So the wood is definitely taking prominence, I'd say, even over the beer. I'm getting a lot of wood, a lot of coconut. Those are things obviously from the barrel, not necessarily. I don't get coconut and wood in Expedition or Cream Stout. So, but not overdone. It's got a really nice, almost savory note to it. A little bit of nuttiness, maybe walnut. Extremely chocolatey on the mouth. The wood is very well integrated into it. I'm not getting a lot of burn on this beer. Not sure what the alcohol is, but I'm sure it's 11.8%, so just under 12% alcohol. It's pretty smooth for that. This is like a really rich, velvety chocolate cake with a little bit of kind of some sort of bourbon glaze on it. I do like the wood as well. Checking my watch so I don't get interrupted, you know, for like the third time in a row. And the mouthfeel is great. I know it says on the box that, you know, the double cream really helped with the mouthfeel, and I think it did. Ends a little bit dry, a little bit actually lighter, so it's really creamy, but then kind of light at the finish. Very slight burn now, like in my lips as I was kind of coating my tongue, my mouth with it. But good, you know, nice chocolate. Good integration of the wood. Everything is in harmony, which is what I look for with beers that are so complex, with so many components going on and so big. You know, you don't want one thing to outweigh anything else, and I think they achieved it. You know, the blending job here, both, you know, the beers themselves blended together, and then also they take multiple barrels and they blend the barrels together as well. And I think they did a very good job. This is a great beer, guys. I'm not going to lie. It is, you know, a 95-point beer in terms of the Russian Imperial Barrel Aged Stouts. This is one of the better ones out there. I would not put it way in the upper echelon for me, but that's personal. I'm sure there are people who this is the Russian Imperial Stout Barrel Aged or Bourbon Barrel Aged that they like. So there you go, guys. I hope you liked it. This was the Bell's Blacknote, a delicious beer from Bell's, a 95-pointer on the Chris Quinn, whatever you want to call it, scale. Got just a tiny little drop. I want to save as much as possible for the people who come into the store. This is all I'm going to be having this year. But still, this is enough for me right now, because I've got some great beer to drink, and hopefully you do too.